Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Phyllis pushes Lily into Audra's arms as the murder mystery deepens. According to Y&R Spoilers, Audra Charles desperately needs Lily Winter's help following Damien Kane's murder in France. Will Lily cover up Audra's Kyle scandal to protect Nate? Phyllis pushes the enemy together. Force friends in France. Audra Charles and Lily Winters on Y&R. Young and the Restless fans have been locked in Kane Ashby's maze with all of his guests for weeks, but this new bond was not on their bingo card. Did Phyllis Summers really force Audra Charles and Lily Winters into a friendship? Or was it Audra's desperation and Lily's mixed feelings for both her ex-husband Kane Ashby and her latest lover, Damien Kane, who was recently killed? What is happening? Where is Devon for Lily? Where is Sally for Audra? How long will these people stay in this maze? Miss Desperate in the south of France, Audra Charles. If Kane Ashby wasn't so busy figuring out who was attempting to kill him and who murdered Damien Kane, he'd have time to get some Miss Desperate stuff for Audra Charles. After all, Kane continues to provide the finest and freshest food for all of his guests at his maze dining area in the south of France, despite the fact that no one other than him and Adam Newman is permitted to enter or exit the property. Certainly, there should be a France version of Amazon Prime to commemorate the most beautiful and desperate of the ball. However, for Audra's advantage, the addition of Miss Desperate swag appears to be ineffective. Audra has left her major gal pal, Sally Spectra, for her most recent colleague with benefits, Kyle Abbott. Now that Kyle has shown to be a bust yet again, Audra is about to be pushed into friendship with Lily Winters inside the prettiest maze of hell in the south of France on Young and the Restless. Audra Charles and Lily Winters have Nate in common. Audra Charles and Lily Winters share a connection with Nate Hastings and may form a friendship until they leave Kane Ashby's maze and learn of Damien's death in Genoa City. On this trip, Lily's confidant was Damien and Audra's was Kyle. Lily and Audra now only have each other after being terrified by Phyllis Summers, whom they both despise. Audra needs a friend. Lily needs a friend. When Audra returns to Genoa City, she will need backup for Nate. Will Audra and Lily's mutual hatred for Phyllis Summers drive Lily to back up whatever story Audra tells Nate to cover up what she almost did to Kyle Abbott? Lily and Audra will be supportive of Nate and Damien's mother, Amy Lewis. Will Lily back Audra's support of Nate and Amy? Kyle snitches, Amanda's omen, Lily and Phyllis fight. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, July 23rd suggest that fans will have a lot to look forward to today, as Lily Winters and Phyllis Summers fight over Kane Ashby. Amanda Sinclair makes a surprising discovery, and Kyle Abbott snitches on someone. Kyle snitches. Amanda notices something and says something. She notices Kane looking at security footage and warns him not to remove it. He wonders if she was the one who deleted the original copy of the tape. As a result, these two hotheads accuse each other while arguing. Kane is looking for the surveillance footage backup copy, which was posted 24 hours after the event. Clearly, someone is tampering with evidence. Who stands to lose the most? No good news. Meanwhile, Lily and Phyllis get into it. They hold opposing views on Kane's guilt, with Lily believing her ex is a murderer and Phyllis rejecting this notion. The ladies are in no mood to be civil, and Lily rips Kane even though Phyllis insists that there is more to the story. She simply does not see Kane as brazen enough to murder Damien Kane in the presence of so many guests. How's Nick doing? The story of Nick Newman and Sharon Newman's house detention spreads. Phyllis tries to condone this while remaining devoted to Kane. Will she try to get her ex out? Meanwhile, Kyle startles Nikki Newman. He accuses Victor Newman of employing Audra Charles to damage his relationship with Claire. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Kyle snitches, Amanda's omen, Lily and Phyllis spit fire on each other. Introducing Newman. Does she believe him? Of course she does. That move is directly from Victor's playbook. We predict she believes Kyle and intends to disrupt Victor's ambitions. Nikki worried about Claire. According to Explosive The Young and the Restless spoilers, Kyle is eager to face Victor, but the mustache is preoccupied with freeing Nick and Sharon. Is he going to become the third hostage? Make sure to keep up on everything going on with The Young and the Restless right now. Come back often for the most recent Y&R updates, news and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the internet. New suspect, escape backfires, difficult decision. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 24th indicate some intriguing moments coming. A new suspect emerges, an escape plan fails, and someone faces a difficult decision. What is going to happen during Thursday's show? Time to find out. Chance Chancellor confronts a new suspect. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, July 24th suggest that Chance Chancellor, along with Victor Newman because the mustache needs to be everywhere, will face a new suspect in the Damien Kane murder investigation. As more people suspect Carter is responsible for Damien's death, it appears he will be confronted. So what will Carter say once he is cornered?
Nick Newman's plan backfires. Nick Newman will attempt to flee the chateau, but his scheme will fail. While he and Sharon Newman are under house arrest someplace in Kane's summer home, it appears that he will attempt to escape out, but something will go wrong. Unfortunately, preview photos show Nick being injured, with Sharon and Sally Spector tending to his wound. The good news is that if Sally is present, Nick and Sharon should be able to escape. Nevertheless, Nick's wounds should not be too severe. Read more. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Claire's fury with Kyle's makeout trap and Audra's kiss. Jack Abbott's tough decision. Finally, The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday indicate that Jack Abbott will make a difficult decision involving his younger brother, Billy Abbott. With Billy fully committed to the hashtag Team Kane fan group, along with Phyllis Summers, Jack may decide it's time to cut ties with his brother. After all, Jack has bad feelings for Kane Ashby. While Jack is likely to cut funding from Abbott Communications, will he also decide to kick Billy out of the family entirely? Can he do that? Then again, this tough decision could be about the entire Kyle Abbott / Audra Charles and Victor situation, so fans will have to tune in to find out. Claire's fury against Kyle's makeout trap and Audra's kiss. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates, Kyle Abbott created a makeout trap that went too far, even though he did not completely cheat on Claire Newman. Is Claire going to be angry by all that inappropriate kissing with Audra Charles, possibly with someone else ratting out Kyle? Kyle might be smug about his trap, but when it comes down to it, he crossed the line. Kyle is appearing arrogant and triumphant, yet he still overstepped his boundaries with Audra, even though they did not go all the way. Kyle's objective was to see how far Audra would go, but was it truly necessary? Kyle should have pulled away and delivered his "I see through you" speech the moment Audra leaned in for that first kiss. Instead, he proceeded to play the game, eventually ending up on top of Audra in bed, only wearing a towel. Audra and Kyle were passionately kissing. What if Claire had been there to witness it all, or if someone told her? You can be sure Claire would not have approved of Kyle's actions. Kyle may believe he has won, but what if he is stupid and brags to Claire about the gory details? Kyle may assume he has succeeded, but what if he returns home and brags to Claire about his effective trap, or worse, someone else spreads the word? Claire's reaction may differ significantly from Kyle's expectations, especially given her emotional upheaval following Cole Howard's death. When Claire confronts Kyle about the situation, she may be horrified by how inappropriate everything was. Kyle is supposed to be devoted to her. He shouldn't have been all over Audra for any reason, including to substantiate his assertions about Audra and Victor Newman's conspiracy. Claire may have taken issue with Kyle's activities and Nice while she was left to grieve alone at home. Kyle may not have known about Cole's death, but that is still not an excuse. Even though Kyle was uninformed of Cole's death due to poor mobile reception, it will still be painful that he was preoccupied with Audra when Claire was grieving. Kyle's behavior was appalling and represents a significant betrayal of Claire's trust. He surely did not tell Claire that he planned to set Audra up for the fall and kiss her in the interim. Fans of Y&R understand that this is Claire's first genuine relationship, which has always felt immature, almost like a high school romance. The fact that Kyle kissed Audra without Claire's permission could still be a huge problem for her, especially considering her current emotional weakness. Sally's first aid crisis, Carter's story for Kane. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, July 25th, suggest that Sally Spector will help with a first aid situation, while Carter has a story for Kane Ashby. Nicky Newman will also be cornered, so what can Y&R viewers expect? Nick Newman is at risk of bleeding out in the storage area, therefore he will need more first aid training than Sharon Newman and Billy Abbott can supply. Sally appears to have some knowledge in that area, therefore she will intercede and try to stem Nick's blood loss. Kane has been telling his visitors that they are stranded without mobile service, but Billy may try to find him and see if there is any way to contact for assistance after all. Kane's phone secretly works, so he may have to give in and seek Nick's assistance someday. In the meantime, Kane will question his assistant after Carter accidentally incriminated himself. Carter appears to have planted the knife under Nick's sink, or is aware of who did so. Of course, this will cast doubt on whether Carter also killed Damian Kane. Did Carter actually target Damian, or did he simply come up in the aftermath to cast suspicion on Nick? Carter may claim that he knew Kane would be found guilty and was trying to keep his boss out of jail. Carter may have committed Damian's murder, but what if another person was to blame? It's worth contemplating because Nikki will be stuck in Friday's emotionally charged episode. What if the genuine killer pursues Nikki while Carter is being interrogated? Carter cannot be in two places at the same time, hence someone else may be responsible for the murder. Regardless, Victor Newman will take command as more drama unfolds, so he could come to Nikki's rescue and save her from a terrible fate. Kane's disarray, Nikki's danger, and a medical emergency. Kane Ashby will be reeling from how out of control his situation has become. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman faces danger. There will also be a medical emergency, therefore let us begin. Nikki Newman's danger. Let's begin with Nikki, who will be in danger. Kane is not interested in physically injuring anyone. However, with so many secrets and mind games, it's impossible to believe. Fans are well recognized that Victor Newman goes to Nikki's aid just in time. Kane Ashby's chaos. Kane's game has evolved into a real murder. Kane did not kill Damian Kane. Someone is obviously manipulating the event to make it appear as if he is to blame. It is also making Kane question those closest to him, on whom he relies the most. Kane and Amanda Sinclair have already accused each other of betrayal, yet they are both innocent. Kane probably never sent someone down the mountain to contact the cops. So he'll need to start being honest before someone else dies. Nick Newman's injuries. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, Nick Newman will require medical attention following a scuffle. Victor will want retribution, but Kane will again claim he had nothing to do with Nick's attack. If it turns out Kane was lying about there being no service, everyone may start demanding that they call their loved ones. Kyle Abbott will try to comfort Claire Grace Newman, who has been dealing with Cole Howard's death. Meanwhile, Audra Charles will need to contact Nate Hastings, who may have to figure out how to notify Amy Lewis. Nate is highly perceptive and will notice anything odd with Audra's speech. Of course, Nate's sorrow over Damian's death may cause him to be less insightful than usual. Week of July 28, 2025. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman will continue to monitor Holden Novak. Meanwhile, Claire can continue to rely on Holden for help while Kyle is abroad. Nick arrested after destroying crucial evidence with a cane? The Young and the Restless spoilers include Damian's murder and Nick's frame-up. By the end of this week, Damian's murder has everyone on edge, with the majority of the chateau suspecting Kane of the dirty deed and Nick of being set up. So, as Y&R comes to an end this week, Nick is still upset about the knife that was hidden in his railcar. While Jack Abbott is confident Nick would never do this, Billy Abbott is less certain. He feels his ex-brother Nick may have stabbed Damian Kane. And it is not a good way of thinking. I mean, Victoria Newman would be outraged if Billy said that about her brother Nick. So, of course, Nick assumes Kane is framing him and keeping French police away from the crime scene to give them time to clean up and destroy evidence like DNA. Nick believes that because the cops were not called and we are now out of jurisdiction, all of the evidence has become contaminated. Perhaps it was lost. Clearly, things have shifted. Nick also believes Kane killed Damian. And he's outraged when Phyllis Summers doubts what he's saying about Kane and whether he did it. Then Nick lashes out, accusing Phyllis of simply believing in the other person for no reason and selling her soul to get this position with Kane. Sharon and Phyllis's perspectives on the charges against Kane. Of course, Sharon Newman is entirely on Nick's side. And Phyllis maintains that all Kane gained from Lily Winters was a broken heart, and that he does not deserve these murder allegations. That is making her ex-husband very upset. And Nick argues that Phyllis will sit there and watch her new boss Kane send him to jail for a crime he did not commit. Then, Phyllis defended Kane, saying, "Nick, look, Kane was with me, so he couldn't have been the one who planted the dagger in your rail car." To conclude, Phyllis is unwilling to confront Nick. But he's coiled up and behaving like Mr. Poopy Pants. And he stomps off. This is his mode, Nick the Stick, and he has something up his posterior. However, in this instance, he is justified. He's been wrongfully accused of murder. Young and Restless Spoilers, Sharon's surprise reaction. So Sharon is actually being nice to Phyllis, who is still claiming Kane is innocent. She maintains that she could tell he wasn't guilty just by looking at his face. At the end of the week on The Young and the Restless, Sharon and Phyllis are debating who should frame Nick for Damien's murder. Phyllis and Sharon are confident that the Abbotts and Winters would not do this. So they wouldn't be framing Nick. And Phyllis concludes that this leaves Sally Spectra. Sharon is speaking about Audra Charles, and they are discussing Kane's employees, including Carter and Amanda Sinclair. And we know there are a few more random employees hanging out. Victor's investigation and Nick's house detention will be the focus of next week's drama. However, Nick Newman's circumstances will deteriorate dramatically next week. First and foremost, his father, Victor Newman, is dissatisfied with the framing and all of this. And he is questioning Kane's assistant, Carter, the cunning little kid. Victor is essentially accusing Kane of murder and wants to know if Kane informed Carter of his plan to assassinate Damien Kane. Carter tells Victor that he will do anything for Kane. But that is not what Victor is implying. So Nick's father is clearly anxious about the frame job. The following week, Carter comes at Nick's door via rail car, followed by a security guard. So Nick is dissatisfied and asks to Carter, "What do you want?" Nick is already angry, and Carter says they're going to arrest him. Once again, it's only a security guard, so they're calling it house arrest, but with actual officers on the way, this may turn into a legitimate arrest. Carter informs Nick that putting him in prison is for Kane's safety and the other guests' peace of mind. "I don't think any of the other guests are concerned Nick will murder them, and you know this isn't going to sit well with Nick because they're literally coming to his door and saying, 'We think you killed Damien and we think you're still plotting to kill Kane.'" Security footage tampering and Chance's inquiry. So, speaking about Lily Winters' ex-husband, Chance Chancellor and Kane are analyzing all of the surveillance footage from the cameras he has installed throughout the home. When it comes to the location in the maze and the time of the murder, there is no footage. It appears that the cameras were turned off or something was erased. So, Chance wants to know who has access to this area, and Kane responds that it is me, Carter, and Amanda. Chance suspects that either Carter or Amanda